The Joe Rogan Experience.
They don't have killer whale shows there anymore?
Well, that particular killer whale, Kiska, she's the only one left in Canada. There's no more in Canada. There's not ever going to be. Marineland's never going to get another one. She's been sort of unresponsive for a long time. She's on a lot of medication.
Medication?
Oh, tons of medication.
Like what kind of medication do you put a killer whale on?
Well, she's got different. You gauge the blood and you start putting them on antibiotics. You get them on.
How do you take blood from a killer whale?
Flip them over, and they've got in their tail. There's a series of large veins. You just roll them over.
And they let you?
Yeah, everything is trained in that they're going to provide it voluntarily. So, and it takes a long time to train these things, but you train them and you just prick it. You just literally grab this little needle, you put it in the vein.
They don't get pissed at you?
They get pissed if you miss and you keep trying. Don't do that.
Fuck.
Yeah, I've seen it happens.
But they let you take their blood.
If they're healthy and responsive, yeah, of course. If they're not, there's nothing that's going to get them to the edge of the pool. But
so you take their blood, and then what do they find?
Yeah,
What's wrong with
send
them?
it to the lab. You want to look at cortisol levels, how the stress is. You want to look at white blood count, see if they're fighting any infections. There's always, in her case, there's always something. A lot of the animals are in fact on Valium. A lot of different psychotics.
What?
Yeah, tons.
What?
Yeah, tons. That is like rampant use in the aquariums.
What?
Yeah.
Valium.
Yeah, Marineland accused me of stealing Valium, in fact, in the lawsuit as well, which is absolutely not true.
Is this used everywhere, or is it just
absolutely.
Marineland?
No, not just Marineland. SeaWorld's everywhere. Yeah.
What?
Yes, absolutely.
They put like dolphins?
Dolphins are on Valium all the time. Sure. When I left Marineland, I had the agreement. Again, I left fairly amicably, considering the situation. But I wanted to play my cards right, and Marineland's owner called me back in specifically to help a dolphin, and it was to feed her, of course.
I wish that wasn't the Daily Mail.
Oh, yeah, sure.
What's the other one? The dodo? BuzzFeed. Is the dodo a good one? BuzzFeed. Let's go with BuzzFeed. SeaWorld puts its whales on Valium-like drug, documents say. Jesus fucking
Those
Christ.
documents are from a lawsuit between Marineland and SeaWorld, where SeaWorld sued Marineland. SeaWorld sued Marine. Yeah, the old benzodiazepines. I'm telling you.
Wow. Trainers give their orcas, also known as killer whales, a psychoactive drug, benzodiazepine. According to the sworn affidavit filed in Ontario Superior Court of Justice in a dispute between the park company and the rival company, Marineland, over the transport of a prize killer whale.
Ikeka is, if you watch Blackfish, you've got Tilikum. That's the orca.
That's the one that killed people.
That's Tilikum's son. We had his son.
Wow.
We had him. He was,
in captivity, right?
In captivity, in a pool, by himself for the most part.
Raised in captivity, bred in captivity.
Born in captivity, yep.
Yeah, which is even more fucked up.
And he was turning aggressive. And SeaWorld was like, they were having none of it. They wanted that killer whale back, and I don't blame them. It's amazing. I'm sued for millions because I'm alleging that Marineland is mistreating their animals. SeaWorld sues Marineland because they're not taking appropriate care of the killer whale, and actually win the lawsuit. They would not put any barriers around the pool. Marineland had a large pool. Imagine this: unimpeded ability to touch a killer whale if you wanted to reach. It's not a safe idea. This is absurd, in fact, especially when you're dealing with a large, boisterous male orca. So SeaWorld wanted barriers around it so that people can't get close. Well, the owner of Marineland, you can't tell him what to do. He's not going to do nothing anyone tells him what to do. So suddenly we're dealing with the fact that this animal started to lunge at the public. Now, this is an animal that if it gets a hold of someone, it's over. They're just going to toy with them for a bit. We're going to hear a lot of screaming, but the screaming will end. You're not getting anyone out of that killer whale's mouth. Forget it. And this is what SeaWorld was dealing with. They're just like, shit. They had enough bad press, even back then. If Ikeka kills someone or hurts someone or anything, or dies in Marineland's care, it's going to look bad on SeaWorld. So SeaWorld's like, get him the fuck out.
Now, when Tilikum killed people, he killed how many people? One person in Canada?
3 or 4, actually. In Victoria, Canada, the first one. Then he went to...
I think it's absolutely hilarious that they kept training him and kept doing things with him. Like,
if that was a fucking pit
no
bull,
big deal.
If that was a pit bull, forget about it. It'd be done. But it's a killer whale.
Or almost any animal. Imagine if they had a lion. They were training, lions, and the lion killed someone. They'd be like, that's a wrap.
Unless that lion was
that's
worth
not true. There was that one grizzly bear that was a trained grizzly bear for films. It was in, what's that movie? Something 40, some football movie with a big bear. Anyway, the bear killed a guy's brother or cousin. The guy was just standing there. It's a horrible video. You could watch the video.
I've seen it.
The guy just standing there, and the bear just decides to tear the guy's throat apart. just reaches up, bites him, rips his throat open. The guy runs off, grabbing his neck. He's dead within minutes.
The joys of working with animals, man. I mean,
well, that bear they kept alive, and they started training him again. And there's some really weird footage of the guy training the bear again.
It was the one from the Will Ferrell movie, that Semi-Pro.
Yes, Semi-Pro. That's the dog.
Yeah.
Or the dog. That's the bear. That bear fucking killed somebody. Look, this guy's smacking this bear around. Look at Will. That bear eventually killed somebody. He just got tired of people.
It takes nothing for him.
Oh, it was so easy for him. Yeah, just decided to fuck him up. But now, when Tillicum was doing all this, he was on Valium?
Oh, I can't say for sure that was the case.
When did they
don't
put him
want to
on
be sued anymore.
When did they start putting killer whales on Valium?
So in oceanariums or aquariums and shit, Valium is often used as an appetite stimulant. So when your animal is off, so they don't eat. If they're not responding to buckets of food, you're fucked. You're having to drop the water to get access to them because they're not interested no more. They're not your friends anymore. If you don't have a bucket of food, forget about it. And so to sort of often enough to sort of trigger that appetite, you'll pump them with the Valium.
How do they give them Valium if they don't want to eat?
Stuff it right in the well, you get liquid Valium you can inject as well. If necessary. Oh, the injections. I mean, that's a process. The things that I've seen and done that were normal to me and normal to anyone who's working there is insane. I mean, we used to call this beluga rodeo. And at Marineland's notorious for having over 50. They're pushing 60 belugas at this point. And this is why it's so important to start changing these fucking laws, because this is absurd. And it creates a whole world of problems, of course, socially for these animals. Babies get killed by males. It's gross. It's bad. It's not manageable. Nonetheless, what we would do is we would drop the water in one of the pools, so you'd have, anywhere between 10 and 15 belugas flat on their stomach. There's a grate at the bottom of the pool. They can't move. Well, if they want to move, they can.
But they're flopping around.
But it means they're going to get fucked up bad.
Like scratched up by the ground?
So if you've got maybe a little bit of water, we've tried different things to try to mitigate how damaged up they got. There was one time, they get carved up. We used to call it, it's morbid, but we used to joke around. We used to call it the Caesar water because it was blood red by the time we were done these procedures. I'm telling you, Joe, it would make you sick. It was the water was thick of blood. And so one time there was a beluga named Peanut, and she started to panic. And what she did was she repeatedly slammed her tail in a panic. She started to bounce around like a fucking basketball. She was getting air 3 feet in the air. She's probably a 3,000 pound whale, 2,000 pound whale or something. So you're not going to stop that. But we tried, of course. We jump on her. Chunks of her tail. I'm not joking. Chunks of her tail flying off. If anyone goes to Marineland, go ask about Peanut and go take a look at her tail. There's nothing left of it. She's got like a nub that's sort of like with jagged on the bottom. She was fucked up after that. Again, lots of meds, lots of recovery, but it was foul, man.
So is this benzodiazepine, is this a recent thing that they started doing to...
No, I wouldn't say so. I can't vouch for any time before 2000 when I started, but for sure once we were there.
So when you go to SeaWorld and you see those killer whales and dolphins doing shows, they're just pilled up out of their fucking minds.
It's hardly it's merely a semblance of their wild counterparts. You're not going there and seeing a dynamic animal anymore. You're seeing a depressed, drugged, confused, probably frustrated animal. And again, what those animals go through, it's difficult for people to give a shit about anything if it doesn't affect them personally. If you see an animal going through this, you feel it.